What up, y'all? So this right here is my Lumix Pro 24-70, and I use it on my Leica SL2. Only problem, look at how big this thing is. It's like as big as the camera. Now, it's not a big deal on like professional shoots and things like that. It's great for video, but when it comes to things like just carrying the camera around, doing street photography, hanging out, it is probably the worst lens choice to make. And it's honestly been keeping me from using this camera in a lot of scenarios over the last few months. So I did some research and picked up this Sigma 45 2.8. It's a lens that I didn't really know about. I just searched smallest L mount lens and this came up, and I was extremely skeptical from the jump. How is this thing $600? Because typically a lens that's kind of small and inexpensive like that, they're not the greatest. So today we're gonna test this thing out. I took it out to a small town and made photos for about an hour. I think we have 20 example photos. No real like bangers in there, but it is a good test of this lens to where I have some thoughts about it for any of you out there who found this video and are thinking, should I pick this thing up for L mount? You know, I'm a little skeptical as well. Spoiler, there's no reason to be, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. And quick reminder, 1826.com, we got the new hoodies that dropped last week. And while you're on 1826.com, if you're like, man, this is a dope website and I wanna make my own, Squarespace is sponsoring today's video. We'll talk about that a little later, but if you wanna build a site, squarespace.com/EvanRamp and use code EvanRamp to get 10% off. Now, let's jump into it. Is this Sigma 45 2.8 any good? Let's test it. Behind the scenes, let's get it. I don't know why, but I kind of like these next few photos right here. Maybe it's the color of the building or something like that. They just look cool. I really wanted this shot right here to turn out. I love that American flag up there, and I was thinking maybe at 45 it'd be better, but I don't know. I tried to include those tail lights to add a little bit more interest, but I couldn't figure that one out really. You've seen this sign before if you saw the Pro Mist video that I made. Also hit that thumbs up button if you like how I'm holding the camera right here. I do that to troll you guys. You don't understand how many weird ways can I hold the camera in the behind the scenes. It's a good little test of the bokeh right here. It's pretty solid, doesn't look bad. I want to come back to this spot one day, maybe when they're closed or like later at night, because it's so cool looking on the inside, but you know, I don't want to be that guy making photos through a window, disrupting everybody's meal. So I played it cool right there. That last shot, you can tell that there's some vignette on these because it's getting darker. I have it at 2.8. Love the colors on that one. I just don't like the Regions bank in the back. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to that. I'm definitely a sucker for neon signs, but I wish that sign said something other than shoe repair. That's not a photo I would actually do anything with, because it's, I don't know, it's just shoe repair. Who cares? Same thing with this one. I was just messing around, testing the lens. You can see that vignette again on that one. Last shot of the night. I'm trying to be low key. Somebody jumped into that trash can up ahead. I don't know if they were trying to, what was going on necessarily. You can kind of see them in that photo, but I just wish I had something more on that one. It was a good opportunity that I missed. But right now, I want to show y'all some video footage. It will be down in the bottom of the left, any clip made with the Sigma 45 2.8, and also talk about our sponsor a little bit more, Squarespace. So earlier I talked about my company 1826, and building this brand out of my basement and garage is hard enough, but luckily Squarespace keeps the website portion of it easy. I actually use Squarespace for both my websites, evanramp.com and 1826.com. They're easy to use. You never have to patch or upgrade anything. And one of the best things about Squarespace is you don't need any web design experience. When I built both of these websites, I just figured it out as I went along, and everyone can too. But if you want a guide, I'll link a video down in the description below showing step-by-step how I built 1826.com so you can build the exact same website for any e-commerce or any photography that you want to showcase. So check out that video, build a test site at squarespace.com/evanramp, and when you decide to make the website live, you can use code evanramp to save 10% off that first purchase. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. Talk right there. All right, y'all, so I know I'm supposed to set up the crazy lighting scenario and everything and make this look all fancy, but I just don't feel like it anymore. YouTube videos are getting too fancy. Sometimes I want to do that, sometimes I don't. So here's some thoughts on this Sigma 45 2.8. Now this lens, if I spent $750 on this, I wouldn't feel like I got ripped off. I would think, hey, that's a pretty good deal. This lens does what it needs to do, but it's still not like a pro option lens. It's definitely a secondary lens. If you have something like this pairs very nicely with it, because what it lacks in some of the more refined elements, you know, like being very sharp at 2.8, it's a little bit soft when you stop it down, and the things like the vignette, it makes up for in the fact that it is extremely light, it's extremely small, and paired with your Leica SL or any L mount lens, you get something that is extremely fun to use. This is a fun lens, and it makes your camera something that you can basically bring anywhere. And if you're an SL2 user, that's a lot of resolution and a lot of power in something that you can take all over the place with you, as opposed to something like this. And I think Sigma's really onto something with this contemporary series of lenses. They just announced a bunch more of them. I think a 35, a 24, and maybe like a 60 something. I can't exactly remember, but they're onto something, because you don't always need the pro lens. Sometimes you need the lens that's more convenient, that makes photography fun, and I'm definitely gonna pick up a few more of these contemporary lenses. I love the snappy little aperture ring right here. I love the focus. It's solid. You know, don't take my word for it. Rent one, try one out for yourself. I don't want to influence anybody to spend money they don't need to spend. But for me, I'm impressed, and it pairs really nicely with some of the more pro lenses out there, which L-mount is in a weird spot where they have so many pro high-level options available and not as many kind of smaller, more contemporary lenses like this. And if anybody out there is like, oh my God, you're not using Leica on a Leica camera? No, I'm not, because I just don't want the lens. Like, Leica doesn't make a small lens like this. You can adapt M-mount lenses, I guess, which I eventually might do with a 35, but we'll see. That's the review. Y'all know I'm not very technical, but my final thoughts and opinions: it makes photography fun, makes photography convenient and easy, and it's definitely priced at the right point. You get what you pay for. Maybe you get a little bit more than you paid for. Shout out to Sigma. Thank you guys for watching today's video. See you next time.